BYU TV back in Vegas and broadcasting the West Coast Conference Tournament for a 9th year. Opening tip won by Spencer. Back to Portland, and the Pilots with Haley Andrews will control. Andrews driving immediately to the hoop. She's stripped by Shannon Powell, and it will be out of bounds and stay with the Pilots. Your starting lineups, starting with the Dons: Moa Lundqvist, Lucia Kostic, Abby Rathbun, Nia Alexander, and Shannon Powell, your starting 5 there, defending against Portland. And Haley Andrews right now, who puts up a 3. We'll see that a lot today from the Pilots. No good on the first attempt.
Portland, the top 3-point shooting team in the conference in terms of takes, now with 740 on the season, and then also makes per game. They average 8.5 3-pointers.
And San Francisco on the board first. It is Lucia Kostic giving the Dons a 2-0 lead 40 seconds in.
The freshman out of Croatia, she needs to have a big game, and she's really looking to flash, take that, but she also has great moves down low in the post with her back to the basket.
Darian Slaga driving, cut off defensively by Alexander. Now back out to Haley Andrews. Andrews around 2 Dons defenders trying to find Spencer. Pass knocked down initially by Alexander. Still loose. Slaga picks it up with 6 on the shot clock, driving to her right, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Rathbun. There's the head coach of the San Francisco Dons, Molly Gudenbauer, 40-42 in her 3rd season on the Hilltop. Again, trying to get her team to at least one more game by knocking off a pretty good shooting Portland Pilots team. Slaga cut off on the baseline, short corner left. Now it's cycled to the right. Back to Julie Spencer. Deep 3 on the way. That's just long. She is absolutely comfortable taking and making those shots, but the Pilots 0 for 2 from beyond the arc.
And San Francisco defensively has done a great job of speeding Portland up. They are really rushing in their offense, and the Dons are boxing out, so keeping them to 1 and done so far early.
Kostic looking for another bucket. It's short, but an offensive rebound, and before the shot goes up, traveling violation is called on Abby Rathbun. The head coach of the Portland Pilots, Cheryl Sorensen, in her 5th season. It's been a rough go, but again, the clean slate would love nothing more than to make a run here in Las Vegas and win a game, if not a couple, as Slaga, one of her experienced players, scores the Pilots' initial bucket.
And she really has experience on this team, one of her most experienced teams. The 13 wins and the 5 WCC wins in conference play is the most since the 2013-2014 season. So they've had a pretty good year, considering that Cheryl Sorensen is really trying to rebuild this program.
Alexander left open with a window, but she can't connect for 3. Julie Spencer pushing for the Pilots. She'll step into a 17-foot jumper. That one is short on the step back. And here we go up the other side of the floor. Shannon Powell.
Powell going to slow things up. And this is San Francisco's game. They are not afraid to just take their time, work it in their half-court set, versus you see Portland taking a quick shot in transition. They'll throw it up quickly, and that's kind of been a model for Sorensen. She said, ultimately, we're trying to shoot the shot before we turn it over.
Powell bouncing inside. And Lucia Kostic is fouled. Trying to get position there on the block as we look back at Portland's initial bucket with Darian Slaga.
Well, she does a good job just creating that space, and it starts with the movement away from the ball, then coming to the ball to get a good catch in a good spot and creating that open space.
Kostic will step onto that right junction, and she leaves a jump shot short. Slaga out ahead. Alexander catches up and cuts her off defensively. Back to Andrews. Andrews going left, nothing there. She'll kick out to Kate Anderson for an open 3. And Kate Anderson, a sharp shooter, knocks one down. The Pilots, a 5-0 spurt. They take a 5-2 lead.
That shot created by Andrews as she took her player off the dribble. All the defenders for the Dons turn, leaving Anderson wide open.
Pass too tall for Shannon Powell from Moa Lundqvist. And a good find by Andrews to have Anderson open on the right wing.
Yeah, good kick out. She took her time. I love how the freshman plays. She is just a strong-willed in there, running the offense. The second best freshman in the league, aside from Shaylee Gonzalez from BYU.
You mentioned it earlier, Kristen. Portland leads the West Coast Conference in 3-point field goal makes per game at just over 8 per contest. They got there first from Anderson, who controls between the legs. Now she'll go to her left. Gorsman inside to Julie Spencer. Spencer step through move and a foul. It's a 7-0 run for Portland now, with Julie Spencer going back to the free throw line and a shot at one more.
She is so versatile at 6'2", and you see she chooses to face up. She can use her back to the basket. She has nice moves, pretty moves, going to that left shoulder, but that time faced up, took what the defense gave her.
Spencer true on the free throw, 8-2 Pilots.
Some full court pressure now from the Pilots, trying to get the Dons to speed up a little bit, force a turnover, but if they don't, you've got time off of that shot clock to make them rush.
Here is Mariana Klavina. And a foul is called as Rathbun was nearing that right baseline. A hold on J.C. Gorsman, her first personal foul. San Francisco inbounding baseline right. Kostic has the only points for the Dons. Bounces to Nia Alexander. Good pass, left-handed layup off the glass and good. And Alexander ends the 8-0 Portland run. Alexander needs to take over a little bit for this team. She's the most experienced player out there on the court right now. Step up and take those shots as you see the senior leader for Portland knock down a big three. Very quick release from Julie Spencer, and she has 6 quick points after that three-point shot goes down. 11-4 Portland in the opening game of the opening day at the West Coast Conference Championships. We're back seconds. And Powell going to have a big role, you would figure, if this Dons team is going to hang in and advance to the next round. Yeah, she really does. She's such a contributor for this team, but she's been dealing with injuries throughout the season. Coming out early here in the first quarter, you really don't know how healthy she is at this point and whether she's going to influence this game. And you can tell that something's bothering her when she runs up and down the floor. So she's out for the moment. Shot is missed, but an offensive rebound from Kostic, and she's left with a wide-open lane back to the basket, scores the left-handed layup. And that's called taking what the defense gives you. She didn't panic. She got a little rush, but held on to the ball. Andrews decided to leave the basketball. Wide open lane. Andrews off the screen of Kemp. Kemp gets it back inside, and she is fouled, the senior from Germany. You watch right here, Andrews leaving the ball. Number one goal defensively is protect the basket from the basketball coming in, and she just leaves it. Andrews, I love how she plays, keeps her head up, leads this team in assists per game, and just always seeing the court, seeing her teammates. Kemp knocks down the first free throw after the foul. 12-6 Pilots. And one more for the 6'2 forward. She knocks them both down. Back to a 7-point advantage for Portland. Kostic. Klavina hands off to Nia Alexander. Now it's swung to Rathbun left wing. Guarded by Andrews. Nothing there. Dribbles back out top. And Klavina once again. Out for an open three. That's short out the front of the rim from Lundqvist. Darian Slaga leading the break numbers for Portland. Slaga pulls up from just inside the free throw line. Good decision and a good shot. Well, Portland getting it done on the defensive end, and that's leading to their offense. Right now they're playing personnel, so they're sagging off the players that aren't good three-point shooters, packing it in, and the other ones on the outside are struggling to knock it down for the Dons. Klavina misses from three. 9-point Portland lead. Pilots with the ball. Andrews near midcourt. Calls out her play off the screen from Spencer. Dribbles to her right. Skip pass to Anderson. Already has 1-3. Looking for another. Back rim, no good. Rebound, Nia Alexander. Great box out from the Dons. Keeping Kemp off those boards. Limit those extra opportunities. Alexander directing traffic. Now hands off to Rathbun. The weave continues out front. Klavina will try a three from the left wing. Shooter's mentality in effect right there. Short memory, and it pays off as she knocks down the Dons' first trifecta. Now that's a huge three-point shot from Rathbun. That's just her third make on the perimeter on the season. Rathbun forces a tie-up on Slaga. Possession arrow points in favor of the Dons. Portland's giving him no shot, and so she has taken the dare and said, all right, you're going to let me shoot this ball. I'm going to step up and knock it down with confidence, and that's what they have to do. 15-9. San Francisco basketball. Lucia Kostic will inbound from Mariana Klavina. As you look at the overall series history, very close. San Francisco with a 2 games lead at 35-33. Oh, good find Kostic was triple teamed, and she had the wherewithal to find Lundqvist going to the bucket. And San Francisco now on a nice little run, forcing Cheryl Sorensen to call a timeout.
Well, she keeps her composure. She's second on the team in assists per game. Great passer from the post, and just the awareness to see her team, and a beautiful cut to the basket. This San Francisco team is very young, but they have so much.
Up on the bridge. We'll show you all the highlights and get you set for what is going to be a fantastic next week of basketball on BYU TV. Back on the court, Portland and Haley Andrews, Kate Anderson now. Looking to end this San Francisco spurt. Slaga throws up a three and does not get the friendly bounce. Kemp had the rebound for a moment, knocked out of her hands by Kostic, who has Rathbun, and she'll hand back to Klavina. Klavina dribbles to her left, fakes the handoff to Rathbun, and never gave it up. So she's called for a double dribble, turnover back to Portland.
Well, good idea. She actually had that open lane, but just a poor execution on that handoff, or the fake of the handoff. Well, she's running that point position. Klavina, a freshman, 5'9". When Shannon Powell is not in there, it's taken them a little bit to figure out, okay, how do we play without our star? How do we figure this out on the offensive end?
Cheryl Sorensen, Kristen, you mentioned the 13 wins for Portland and the 5 in conference. That is a marked improvement from what they have been able to put out the past few years.
Last year going 7-23 and just 3 wins in conference play. So they progressively gotten better.
Offensive foul whistled on Kate Anderson. We'll take one more look as the clock stops at 3:06 to play. And it's drawn by Kia Valavirta.
Valavirta stepping in front, moving her feet, trying to cut her off, beat her to the spot.
A lot of international flavor on this San Francisco team. Klavina to Valavirta, who just drew that charge. Now back to Mariana, directing traffic. And once again, Valavirta on the right wing. Klavina will take it back with 12 on the shot clock. Cycle to Alexander, pass inside. Now kicked back out. Valavirta behind the back dribble. 5 on the shot clock. Too much dribbling. Turnover as Andrews steals it for Portland. Anderson has it for a moment. Now back to Andrews. Working off the screen from Kemp. Andrews finds a lane to the bucket. Fouled on the shot attempt, and she'll shoot 2 free throws.
But you see the steal right here. Trying to do too much with the dribble. Move that ball. Ball movement's so key for the offense for the Dons. And then Andrews right here just being aggressive. She was given a lane. Defender opened up. Allowed her a lane to the basket, drawing the contact.
Haley Andrews, the freshman from Townsville, Australia. Watches the first free throw rim out. And Portland remains in front by 4. 2:29 to play in the opening quarter.
Andrews leading the point all season for this team. She's been a starter. Second in the league in scoring for a freshman. Just behind Gonzalez, like we talked about. But she's a player that has really stepped up, getting more and more confident throughout the season.
The winner of this game advances to the de facto quarterfinal. Nia Alexander, her 3. Back iron long, but the offensive rebound, and San Francisco's good at that. Tracked down once again. Valavirta. Alexander now looking for some help. Double team on that baseline, causing problems for Yulia Neal-Watsna. But the Dons will maintain possession with 21 seconds on the shot clock as it's knocked out of bounds. Alexander inbounds to Klavina. Valavirta to Alexander. She's cut off defensively by Andrews. Valavirta, long 3. Misses badly left, out of bounds. Portland basketball.
And that is what Portland wanted. Force a player to take a shot well beyond 3. Not really working anything into the middle of the zone in their offense. And that's why they've been mixing it up, trying to take the Dons out of rhythm. So far, it's worked on the defensive end.
Kemp to Slaga. Little hesitation from Darian Slaga. That one's in and out. Rebound by Lundqvist, and she's fouled in the effort.
Excellent box out. She's listed as a junior, but is actually going to be graduating this year. Won't be back, but she a lot of experience in securing that box out.
Kemp with her first personal foul. Now the Pilots showing some extended pressure. Slega and Gorsman. Volavirta will dribble out of trouble. Skip pass, long, dangerous pass. Slega knocks it down initially all the way into the backcourt. Now San Francisco in a hurry with Klavina and Alexander on the baseline right. As Volavirta, baseline left, passed on the three. Kostic, good pass inside. Patient offense from San Francisco. And Yulia Niewatzna gets her first bucket for the Dons.
When they've been patient, they have found open seams in the zone.
Julie Spencer, catch, shoot. Oh, drops it in.
Shooter's touch right there. Just got it to roll in off the backside of the rim.
And that ball hits the flat part of the back iron and then gingerly rolls in.
Second three for Spencer. She's got 9 points in the game.
Niewatzna from Kostic one more time. Can't connect with the post defense there from Kemp. 19-13 Portland. Andrews looking for more. Has the ball knocked out of her hands, but she is just
she recovers.
Relentless, persistent.
Never stops. And that's what I love about her. Never stops playing. There's improvement that needs to be made on the defensive end with Andrews, but I'm telling you, offensively, she just gets it.
Once again, Andrews, a freshman from Australia, has given the Pilots an 8-point lead. They led by as many as 9 here in the opening quarter. This to cut into that Portland lead, and Klavina does so. Mariana Klavina makes it 21-16. 5.1 seconds to play in the opening quarter, and now an official stoppage here.
Klavina's got 6 points now, really stepping up, running this point. Give her the shot right here. You see, top of the zone, doesn't extend. Let her take this. And her 8th three on the season, or 8 coming in, rather. And knocking that one down. She has really stepped up and taken those minutes from Powell and running the show.
Now the officials are still at the scores table confirming some details. And for a moment I thought maybe they're looking to see if her foot was on the line, but she's clearly behind it by 7 seconds for Portland to try and add to this 5-point lead late in the first quarter. It goes to Andrews at midcourt. Andrews fires up a three, long off the glass, no good. We've played 10 minutes. And the 8-seed Portland Pilots hold a 5-point advantage over the number 9-seed San Francisco. Winner advances to the quarterfinal tomorrow. Stay with us on BYU TV for more from the Orleans inbound, just in front of our broadcast position. To Haley Andrews, the freshman point guard.
And we talk about that three-point shooting, Spencer, and we really need to note that they're missing their top three-point specialist, and Maddie Molheim, who broke her hand on Tuesday. She led this team coming in three-point attempts and also makes on the season.
Very unfortunate turn of events for Portland and Cheryl Sorensen losing such a sharp shooter, but the Pilots feel confident they still have enough offensive firepower to do some damage in this bracket. And a steal from the Pilots. Slega, the pass a little bit too strong and through the arms into a turnover for San Francisco.
Well, Slega's got to be smarter than that. She's the guard running the show. You cannot expect your post player to make a play when they're jogging down or sprinting down the floor, trying to get themselves in the paint for a position to score.
Lauren Walker looked unready to receive that pass. The 6'5" sophomore center, and now San Francisco trying to take advantage of that turnover. Nia Alexander has the ball come through her hands, collects with 2 on the shot clock, throws up a three. Nia Alexander. And it's a 2-point game.
Well, she had the awareness of that shot clock going down, 1 second on the clock. She had to get a shot up and knocks it in.
Andrews, good Euro step through the double team right near the bucket. And she scores to make it 23-19 Portland. Alexander, top of the key, back to her right. Klavina, good pass inside. And Yulia Niewatzna will go to the free throw line for a couple of shots.
Now watch right here. Pressure all over that perimeter, and just the awareness, knowing the shot clock's going down, use that crossover to create enough space for the shot. This is a good skip pass, down low look to the opposite block, where they're working hard to seal. And in that zone, that's where they're finding their open players on the post.
Yulia Niewatzna, freshman out of Poland, misses her first free throw. That first foul is attributed to Lauren Walker of Portland. You look at, as we mentioned, the international ties for San Francisco. Finland, Croatia, Latvia, Denmark, another Croatian, Australia, Sweden. It's incredible what this team has compiled from all over the world.
When they all speak English, I talked to their SID, but 8 of those players, their first language is not the English language.
And the second language is basketball for Mariana Klavina, and she steals and deals at the other end. Portland's lead down to just 1. It's been as high as 9. 8 minutes to play here before halftime.
Oh, Klavina, the freshman with 8 points. And now coming up with a big play on the other end. They're going to get a call going against Portland. Watch the steal right here. Just the hustle play, continuing with that effort, finishing the play all the way through. She's been playing outstanding through this first half.
We talk a lot about the relentless pursuit of scoring by Haley Andrews and just her persistence around the hoop. Klavina showing that on the defensive side of the ball. Portland now showing half-court trap. Klavina, as the Pilots drop back in control, Tania Alexander, and San Francisco can take the lead. Skip pass, Rathbun. Out to Alexander, left wing 3. Got another, Nia Alexander. And the Dons in front by 2.
Dons 4 for 9 from distance, and they're taking those 3-point shots in rhythm as of late, and that's where Alexander has been able to be effective.
Gorsman, a bit out of control, is fouled by Nia Watsna with the blocking foul, and wouldn't you know it, it's conference tournament time. We expect the unexpected, and the San Francisco Dons are out shooting Portland from the 3-point line.
Well, that time Alexander ready to shoot. As she came across the top, she relocated for the kick out. Just in rhythm, being ready to shoot.
Gorsman misfires on the first free throw. 9-2 San Francisco run here in the second quarter. And Gorsman misses both. That one in and out, controlled by San Francisco. Here comes Klavina, calls out a play with her left hand to Rathbun. Dribbles top of the key, back to Klavina. Rathbun once again cycled to Alexander, where she just hit her second 3. Bounce pass, high post, Kostic. She'll fire it up. That one rings off. Offensive rebound again for the Dons, and a foul was called, I believe, before that shot went up from Rathbun. And the Dons continue to win the battle on the offensive glass. I believe that will be the 4th offensive rebound. Yeah, 4 offensive rebounds for the Dons. Gorsman picks up her second foul after the exchange.
Well, I love the offensive boards, but they're also keeping Portland off the glass. So they have a +6 on the rebounding margin. And they're knocking down shots. They're not forcing it on the offensive end.
Alexander dribbles into a 10-footer that's just long. Knocked around, out of bounds, Portland basketball. Pilots led by 9 in the first quarter. They now trail by 2. 6:55 to play before halftime.
Spencer and Slaga have been very quiet here in this quarter. They have to get themselves going, assert themselves in the offense.
10 to Andrews. Thinking about a 3. Now she'll wait for Slaga off the screen. Slaga left-handed dribble drive to the hoop. Oh, pretty layup. And a score by Darian Slaga.
She keeps her body in front of the defender, not allowing him to get a block on the ball, and then finishing softly off the glass. Beautiful move from the senior.
Scoop and score, ties it at 25. Rathbun. As Mo Lundqvist looking to hand off to Alexander. Kate Anderson disrupting that defensively. Alexander dribbles behind the back, trying to find a shot. Now flips it inside. Pass too strong, but the Dons fortunate to hold on to it. With 3 seconds on the shot clock, a 3 goes up and is missed by Lundqvist. Now the defensive rebound from Portland. And here comes Slaga. Advances to Kate Anderson on the right side. Slaga gets it back. Andrews spinning in that free throw line area. And that one drops off. Little float shot wouldn't go. Klavina controls the rebound and now pushing the ball. Kostic, Rathbun, Lundqvist, and now back to Klavina.
I love the patience from San Francisco on the offensive end. And that's where they're working the shot clock down, really working the defense to see what they're allowed to do offensively.
Kostic, tough shot, working on Julie Spencer as she spins over that right shoulder and scores it with the left hand. San Francisco back in front by 2, but it's a short-lived lead as Slaga scores essentially 5 seconds later on the other end of the floor. We're tied at 27. 8 points for Slaga.
That's the first, I think, quickest bucket we've seen from Portland. They love to get out and transition run, but that is something the Dons have done very well at taking away those transition easy buckets.
Ariana Clavina off the screen from Kostic, pulls up free throw line, no good. Rebounded by Spencer, finds Kate Anderson. And Cheryl Sorensen instructs Anderson to slow things down just a little bit. She crosses the timeline. 4:50 to play before halftime. Julie Spencer to Anderson on that back cut in the post. Anderson nowhere to go. Back to Andrews, just inside the free throw line. This time the float shot goes for the freshman. And Portland back in front by 2. She's got 7 points.
She does a nice job just using her head and a little hesitation to get the defense to move. And they've done a great job. Off the dribble, the middle attack penetration has been there the entire game for Portland so far.
Skip pass from Kostic to Alexander. She's already got 2 threes. Perhaps thinking about another. Lundqvist being challenged by Kemp to put up that outside shot. She goes inside and spins into a miss. Offensive rebound nearly tracked down by Rathbun, but her foot's on the line, and it'll be Portland basketball when we come back. 29-27 Pilots in the 8-9 game to open up our conference tournament championship coverage.
When my grandfather...
Majority of the next week here on BYU TV as we continue our 9th year of coverage in collaboration with the West Coast Conference and the W.TV to bring you worldwide. If you're streaming it, watching it on BYU TV nationwide, all of this basketball. Portland and Darian Slaga looking to extend their lead. They do not as Slaga's shot rims off. Rebounded by the Dons. They trail 29-27. Just under 4 minutes to play before halftime. Rathbun to Kostic. Skip pass. Clavina, long 3. High arcing 3 that hits nothing. And graces the front of the net. Now Portland with Julie Spencer. That's the one shooter you don't want to leave open. And Spencer with her 3rd triple of the game. She's got 12 points to lead all scorers.
Defense gets lost in transition, and you've got the trail big, Spencer, one of her favorite positions to take that 3 in the offense in that transition. Excuse me.
Rathbun. Now Clavina goes away from the screen from Kostic. Tough pull-up jumper, short baseline right. Clavina now has 10 points.
Well, she's been outstanding offensively. And defensively, I think they've done a solid job. They have limited to Portland to just 1 shot and done. Portland with 0 offensive boards in this first half.
Kate Anderson misses on the 3 after a skip pass from Slaga. The Dons trailing by 3. This 3 would tie things up. It's no good from Valavirta. And now Kate Anderson and the Pilots content to slow things down just a bit. 2:30 to play before the break. 32-29 Portland over San Francisco. Julie Spencer with 12 points, looking for more. Her pass is tipped, knocked down, and stolen. And Clavina looking for more as she's into double figures scoring.
Excellent on the defensive side by San Francisco. They have really mixed it up, brought that double team, and now it works effective in their position on their end to force a turnover.
Turnovers exchanged by both sides. Ball knocked out of bounds. As Andrews was driving toward the left baseline, it'll stay with the Pilots. 23 seconds on the shot clock, now 1:58 to play in the half. Some substitutions on both sides. Goresman back in for Portland, replaces Julie Spencer.
Well, Spencer looked a little gassed there, and I think Sorensen saw that, and that's why she brought a sub in. Surprise Spencer, because she does not come out of the game very often.
Slaga on that delayed pick. Open for 3, no good. Offensive rebound inside. And the putback is no good in San Francisco.
Well, Kaitu'u comes in the game, and that's the first offensive board. But then on the other end, San Francisco quickly going to work.
It's a 1-point game. I was just going to say, the first rebound that Portland gets on the offensive glass, San Francisco survives. And Kaitu'u this time connects as she goes underneath the hoop wisely to utilize that rim as a little bit of protector against the shot block, and she scores to make it 34-31.
You know, that's what you hope for your players coming in off the bench, that depth coming in. Can they be a spark sometimes when Spencer's a little tired and Kempton there? She has come right in. Kaitu'u, number 2 out there out of Salt Lake City, Utah, and just been a spark on the offensive glass and then scoring one for her first 2 points.
Product from East High School there in Salt Lake City, Utah. Kaitu'u, the most recent 2 for the Pilots, 34-31. air ball three from San Francisco falls into the hands of Gorsman, and a foul is called as Gorsman is bumped from behind. One more look at Kaitu'u's first bucket.
Well, and she just keeps that body control, going under the rim, getting in a better position. You want your dribble to put you in a better position to score, and that's what she did on the right side.
Gia Bolavirta is whistled for her first personal foul. 1 minute to play before halftime. Kaitu'u fakes the handoff to Anderson, now goes back out to Slega. Three on the way, no good. Rebounded by Lundqvist to Klavina. Klavina now off the screen from Lundqvist. Will go to Bolavirta.
Mismatch inside. Lundqvist wants that ball. She's one against Kate Anderson. 5'9" in there.
Klavina fouled on her way to the hoop. Darian Slager going to be whistled for the personal foul. 34 seconds stopped on the clock. And the Dons can cut into this Portland three-point lead.
See that drive to the basket. She beats her on the first step, going at Darian Slega, and that's how she had the edge, because once you beat your defender on that first step and you continue to be persistent at the rim, you've got them beat.
Mariana Klavina out of Latvia. No good on the first free throw. She'll have one more to try and bring it to a two-point game. Second on the way, and that one is around, rims around, and goes down. About a 3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Andrews for Portland. Waist-high dribble and no hurry right now, looking to run this clock down and get closer to halftime with the two-point lead. Now she goes into motion. Hands out to Kate Anderson with 12 on the shot clock. Slega takes it in the weave. Now back to Andrews with 8 on the shot clock. 10 on the game clock. Andrews, good pass inside. Kaitu'u just overshot the layup, too strong. 5 seconds to go in the half. Bolavirta with one, spinning out to a teammate for an open three. I'm not sure it would have counted anyway, as the shot is missed. And we end the first half 34-32. Frenetic pace to close out the first 20 minutes. The Pilots, as the Portland brass, feel a little bit better about bringing her back, especially with the growth they've made this year. Here is Spencer with the 12 points, driving and leaves the layup short. Couldn't get around Lundqvist. And Klavina looking to add to her already career high. The layup is good, and they're going to give it to her. Some continuation after an outstanding first half.
I like this. You reward the effort. Watch it right here. And the hesitation, just a little skip kind of with the hesitation and getting by the senior Slega. That middle attack, that middle penetration has been there for both the teams, honestly. There is no forcing baseline, which you typically see defensively from teams. They're allowing them to get to the middle, and that's where the defense breaks down.
The Dons up in front by one after the three-point play from Klavina. She's got 16 points. San Francisco started the second quarter on a 9-2 run, and a good start for the Dons here to open up the second half. Gorsman fires up an airballed three. Klavina tracks down the rebound. Has Alexander to her left. And she will go that direction with the handoff to Alexander, who made 2 of San Francisco's 4 three-pointers. Kostic, too tall for Klavina, and that will go as a turnover, and a really frustrating one for Coach Gutenbauer's team.
Just the 7th turnover in the game for the team. They've been pretty smart with the basketball. One thing I like about their offense, though, is they've knocked down those outside shots. 14 three-point attempts that we noted at halftime. They average 15 per game throughout the season. And so what it's done is it's pulled the defense out a little bit and opened up the drive.
San Francisco trying to break a couple of trends we just showed you. 0-16 when trailing at the half. It was just by 2. They lead by 1 now, and they haven't won a Thursday game. So trying to break both of those streaks here against Portland and move through the bracket. Klavina feeling good. 3 a little bit long. Gorsman tracks it down, and in the hustle effort loses it out of bounds back to San Francisco. 8:37 to play in the third quarter. The Dons lead 35-34.
Gorsman given that challenge here in this second half to guard Klavina, who had an outstanding first half. But Gorsman, one of the top guard perimeters on the defensive end.
Alexander's shot misfired. Rathbun steals it away from Darian Slega after the Portland rebound, and the Dons will have another go on the offensive end. Lavina looking for the entry pass. They're going to call an offensive foul as Nia Watsna is called for the hook.
I like this call. I think that she was trying to hold Slega, and Slega was the one that was switched on to her defensively and working to try to get around in front.
Correction, that is Moa Lundqvist, not Nia Watsna, that is called for the offensive foul with that hook. In Portland basketball with Gorsman. 2 minutes played here in the third quarter. Andrews, tough shot off the glass, falling to the ground. It goes, and she'll shoot a free throw.
The freshman has this figured out, where she is able to attack down the lane and use her body. And you see just the strength, very strong player.
The foul will go against Clavina. It's her second personal. That's just a tough play.
And get the shot off, too. Give it a chance to go in. Three-point play the old-fashioned way.
10 points for Haley Andrews and gives Portland the lead back, 37-35.
And for Andrews, that's her 20th game in double figures this season.
Kostic, again turning over that right shoulder, leaves the left-handed shot short off the glass. Andrews running 3-on-2 to Slega, in rhythm for three, in and out. Loose ball ends up in the hands of Gorsman, back to Andrews. Flips to Julie Spencer off the glass. That one won't drop. And now San Francisco on the break, led by Rathbun. 3-on-2. Rathbun, step through move.
Gorgeous. Out of Washington, Rathbun read the defense, doing that Euro step to get to the basket.
Her first bucket. Andrews back to work, tied at 37. That'll stop the clock with 7:12 to play and send Andrews, the freshman, back to the free throw line as you look back at the first two from Rathbun.
Phonetic pace right there. And you see she gets Gorsman up off her feet and able to use this Euro step move to get to the basket. And, you know, that's something that players nowadays are really working on to try to perfect and make a part of their game.
Came to that jump stop, then took the 2 steps through. Free throw up and good from Andrews. She's got 11 points. And the Pilots with the slimmest of margins in the lead, 38-37. One more from Andrews. Now she has 12 points. Tied for a Portland team lead with those 12. Andrews and Julie Spencer have combined for 24 of the Pilots' 39. Kemp will get a break for Portland. And here comes Clavina with the 16 points, a career best, more than doubling up her previous high of 7 points. Here's Nia Watsna driving on Anderson, flips it out to Rathbun. Good pump fake, body's on the ground, and she takes advantage with a clear lane to the hoop from the baseline right.
Being more patient, I feel like, here in this second half. She forced it a little bit, really wanting to contribute and score, and there's Andrews again. I mean, defensively, they just have not been able to stay in front of her. She's had whatever she wants when she attacks the basket.
Off the screen, that hesitation move, both defenders choose wrong, and Andrews is left wide open for that layup. 6:30 to play in the third quarter. Again, a 2-point lead for the Pilots. Nia Alexander's shot comes off the very front of the rim. It didn't quite crawl over the lip. Gorsman now left wing. Has Slega wide open for three from the baseline left. No good. And San Francisco dodges a bullet there.
Players working hard, both ends of the court. Spencer, and then not able to get back.
Good find from Clavina, the reserve point guard, to find Moa Lundqvist open in the lane, and we're tied at 41. Lundqvist now with 4 points.
Well, the recognition to get down there quickly as Spencer is working on the other end to try to secure the rebound, and Moa just sprints up the court to try to get an open shot.
Anderson to Julie Spencer. Gorsman cutting inside. And Gorsman with a good move, but she misses another layup. Ball tapped out near midcourt, tracked down by Andrews, who has all 7 of Portland's points here in the second half.
Good decision right here. Just slow things down, bring the calmness back to the team.
Andrews looking for more. Nia Watsna is called for a travel. Her body collided, I believe, with Julie Spencer, and as she fell back, she hurt herself and is slow to get up. Gingerly trying to walk through on her left knee. And Nia Watsna, grimacing, will stay in the game for the moment.
And San Francisco with a 4-rebound advantage on the boards. Portland has kind of caught them in that category in this game.
Kate Anderson short from 3 straight away. Pilots, 2 good opportunities, nothing to show for it. Halfway through the third quarter, and San Francisco looking to take the lead once again. Klavina to Nia Watsna, left junction. Cut off on the dribble to the corner. Rathbun, pull up 15-foot jumper, and this time she gets the friendly bounce. 43-41.
Rathbun now with 6 points, approaching her average of 6.9.
Anderson, 3, again in and out. Rebounded and given off to Klavina, who is looking to push the break. Mariana Klavina turns the ball over. Andrews now sprinting the other direction. Euro step, got to go. 14 points, check that. 16 points for Haley Andrews. And we're tied at 43.
She had 19 points and 6 points in the 2 meetings against San Francisco.
Rathbun.
This is an offensive clinic right now between these two. We're seeing beautiful moves with that Euro step down there. Rathbun now with 8 points in the game.
She's starting to find a bit of an offensive groove after seeing that ball go through the bucket. Julie Spencer sets the screen and rolls beautifully, assisted by Andrews. 45-45.
Both teams shooting above 43% from the game. Just being very efficient, trying to work their offense in the half-court set.
Bolovirta bounces baseline left to Kostic. Skip past Rathbun with those 8 points, trying to get into double figures. Opts not to. Now Klavina with 7 on the shot clock. Long 3 on the way. High off the back of the rim on the miss, and it is out of bounds. Portland basketball. Last touch by Rathbun. 3:34 to play in the third quarter. The winner advances to the quarterfinals. The West Coast Conference Basketball Championships don't go anywhere. The Orleans Arena as we open up conference tournament play. The WCC Championships 2019. Great game going here in the opening tip-off between Portland and San Francisco. Tied at 45, 3:24 to play in the third quarter. San Francisco shooting 6 for 11 here in the third quarter. They have not won a game all year in which they've trailed at halftime, and they trailed by 2 here. But Portland, with the good offensive set out of the break, Kemp scores the layup off the pass from Anderson.
You get that defense to rotate, that help side, that leaves somebody open on the opposite post. Good finish by Kemp. And you talk about those San Francisco numbers. In this quarter so far, Rathbun with 8, and Andrews has 9 in the quarter alone.
Nia Alexander to the short corner, right back up to Klavina. Swung back to Alexander straight away. She gets through the defense, off the glass. Too strong, rebounded by Kemp and given to Anderson. 47-45, Portland. Anderson into a pull-up jump shot from the free throw line. That's too long, and Alexander trying to beat Anderson back down the other end of the floor.
She's got that crossover, but Anderson didn't bite on it that time, stayed in front of her.
Mariana Klavina. A huge storyline for San Francisco, taking over for Shannon Powell, and Klavina's 3 is short this time. 1 hops on the rebound to Darian Slega. 2-on-2. Slega right at Alexander, poked away, and a steal. Advantage Alexander in San Francisco. Kostic, that left-handed jumper, that one's no good. So after the hot start shooting for San Francisco, things starting to cool off a little bit for the Dons. Under 2 to play here in the third quarter, and Andrews with the basketball for the Pilots.
And San Francisco cannot settle for jump shots. They've got to get a high percentage shot, and whether they get the defense to rotate in a kick, but they've got to get something at the basket in the paint.
Kemp looking for that entry pass into the post, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Portland. Cheryl Sorensen looking for win number 14 this season. And if the Pilots can hold off the Dons, it would be another step in the right direction for this program. Both teams made 4 3-pointers in the first half. Portland averages 8 3-point makes per game to lead the West Coast Conference. But the Dons and Pilots have combined to go 0 for 8 from the 3-point line this quarter, and another turnover. Anderson.
Giving it right back. This is where they've got to be smarter.
Klavina had the ball knocked out of her hands, looking to lead the break. Andrews got a pretty good look at the layup. Missed, and then tapped to the sideline, out for San Francisco. 1:27 to play. Dons basketball. Lundqvist inbounds to Mariana Clavina across midcourt.
Both teams making adjustments at half, and that's what ideally as a coach you hope to see. And they've tried to extend the defense, not allow any open shots on the perimeter.
Well, this has turned all of a sudden into just a turnover fest as Anderson hits the ground. Jump ball is called. San Francisco basketball after the exchange. And a substitution on the Portland side as Liana Kaitu'u checks back in, replacing Kemp. The score remains 47-45 in favor of Portland.
And part of the miscues is we've had a pretty frenetic pace here in this quarter, going up and down, so it can be tiredness, and it's not just physical, it's mental in the game. You really have to think the game, be smart with your ball control.
Clavina's three, again short. Lundqvist trying to save it in bounds, but her foot's on the line. It'll be Portland basketball.
Coach Molly Goodenbauer wanting her freshman guard to get to the basket, slash to the basket, even when Portland goes into that zone. Pinch the gaps and get to the basket.
11 combined turnovers by these two teams here in the third quarter. Under a minute to go. And that was nearly another turnover, but a foul is called on Clavina. And that will be her third personal foul. 4 team fouls on the Dons here in the quarter. If you get to 5, you put the opponent in the 2 foul shot shooting bonus. Julie Spencer has been quiet here in the third quarter until now.
Well, she had the advantage down there when she caught that ball on the baseline out of bounds. Just kept her composure. Needed 1 or 2 dribbles to get to the rim and does a good job locating the rim.
Pilots back in front by 4, 49-45 after the Julie Spencer bucket gives her 16 points. Rathbun to Kostic, open, short shot, no good. Another offensive rebound. Out to Clavina, and Clavina gets all the way to the hoop. She's got 18 points to lead all scorers.
Now that is what Coach Goodenbauer was telling her that last possession. Get to the rim off the dribble. She's so capable.
Slaga looking to connect from 3. That one long. The three-point woes for both teams continue as the third quarter buzzer sounds. 49-47. Portland had a 2-point lead at the break. They'll lead by 2 going to the final 10 minutes of play. Win 8 seed Portland Pilots by 2, 49-47. Here we go. Portland basketball to open up the final period. Clavina with a near steal. And as she was going to get the ball after knocking it out of the hands of Andrews, knocks Andrews over and is called for her 4th personal foul. Tough break to open up the final 10 minutes. And keep in mind, San Francisco doesn't have a lot of depth at that point guard position already with Shannon Powell sitting, dealing with that foot injury.
All right, Clavina, the only one in double figures. She's had an outstanding game. She has to be smarter than that. She has to know her importance to stay on the court. That time, straight up, excellent defense, held her ground to make Andrews take a tough shot, but didn't bail her out.
The Dons get the defensive stop they need. Now they're opening possession of the fourth quarter.
Portland going to the zone, mixing it up, just trying to take San Francisco out of rhythm.
Good ball movement to beat that Portland zone. Kostic is fouled near the hoop as she took the nice pass from Lundqvist. Stopping the clock. 33 seconds into the fourth quarter, and Kostic will have 2 free throws to potentially tie the game here.
When Portland shows that zone, San Francisco in the latter part of the game has done a better job at attacking the zone towards the middle of the zone or hitting the post down low. And if you settle for those jump shots on the outside, that is playing right into the hands of what Portland wants you to do.
Both free throws up and good from Kostic, tied at 49. Great game going here to tip things off in the 2019 West Coast Conference Basketball Championships. Julie Spencer skipped past to Kate Anderson, hit an early 3, has been quiet and a bit cold since. Anderson trying that step-through move, can't get over Kostic. Loose ball falls to Clavina. Clavina, oh, what a move on the break. That hesitation dribble drive, and she sticks her tongue out as she scores that layup. She's got 20 points.
We are seeing a breakout game from Clavina, and it's almost like everything's clicked. The physical, the mental side, because she's had the physical, but it's been the mental IQ of the game and really catching up to American basketball and what Molly Goodenbauer is trying to do. And just look at her push this ball and use that hesitation crossover to get right by 3 different defenders in a white jersey.
Foul called on Nia Alexander as she was pressuring the ball with Haley Andrews controlling for Portland. The Dons now up by 2, 51-49. Kate Anderson has her shot swatted away.
Excellent defense. Kept her body off, but located the ball on the shot.
Rathbun after the Lindquist block. What a move by Rathbun.
You know, I talked to the coach, or the SID rather, for San Francisco before the game, and he said these players are so talented, they're just so young, and at some point it's going to click, and you're going to see some outstanding plays.
Abby Rathbun into double figures with 10 points. Darian Slaga flips to Julie Spencer. Spencer, tough move, and they're going to get her with the push-off with the forearm. This time on Rathbun, who is defending the play. Look at the block shot. Tracked down by Lundqvist, and then the spin move by Rathbun. Step through. That is gorgeous footwork.
That's a freshman. You're watching a freshman right there, and Spencer getting that push-off. Just the extension of the arm is what the officials are watching.
San Francisco, another quick start here in the fourth quarter on a 6 chips. 8:09 to play. San Francisco basketball with the 4-point lead, and Klavina across midcourt. She's got Nia Alexander to her left. Klavina takes the ball back now to Abby Rathbun. Bounces to Kostic. Skip pass, and not a good decision. Easy steal by Andrews. Andrews all the way into the hoop, and the freshman scoops and scores. She's got 18 points. How about this matchup between Andrews and Klavina?
It's been outstanding. Fun to watch. Andrews approaching her career high as 23 against Weber State, which she had back in November.
Kostic from the left junction area on the free throw line, and she will knock down that wide open jumper all day long. That's her money area. San Francisco back in front by 4. Slaga for 3. Much needed for the seniors. Slaga has been very quiet today. 11 points.
And just her first 3-point shot. 1 for 8 from distance from 3-point.
5 for 15 shooting now. And we'll see if that turns things around for the senior sharpshooter. 1-point game. And as I was saying, Kostic.
You should make a living right there. You're going to leave her that wide open. She knocks one down. Defense has to recognize, all right, I got to get a little closer, get a hand up, tighter to her. But she turned around and had plenty of space to get a shot off. 57-54. Slaga just saw one go through. Another one. That one is long and rebounded by Abby Rathbun. Handed off to Klavina. Molly Gudenbauer calling out the play. Nia Alexander to Kostic. Wide open inside. And again, that interior ball movement has been fantastic from San Francisco in the fourth quarter. So she knocks down 2. Now the defense sucks out on her, and they recognize I can't leave her open. And that's what you get. That's what results is that high-low look.
Lundqvist scores the wide open, easy layup. Darian Slaga inside. She's tripped as she goes to the hoop, and she'll shoot 2 free throws. She almost got that shot to go. Take one more look at the 3 just knocked down by Darian Slaga. Found by Andrews.
A lot of those plays created, like you mentioned, by Andrews off the dribble. And then here's that high-low look. A nice feed with that triangle action. Kostic, we mentioned it earlier, she's a fantastic passer. And when she doesn't have that open shot, that's her first look. Looking down low.
Darian Slaga just 1 for 9 from the 3-point line. 11 points on 5 of 16 shooting. And she gets the second of the 2 free throws to go down. 59-55. 6:12 to play. Substitution for Portland as Kemp comes out. And Julie Spencer is back in for the Pilots. Borsman defending on Klavina. Kostic, good move, just missed the open shot. An offensive rebound by Rathbun. Kostic back to Lundqvist, wide open again for a layup. Laura Lundqvist enjoying some easy looks underneath the hoop.
Creating that second chance opportunity. Rathbun now with a double-double. 10 points, 10 boards.
San Francisco with a 6-point lead. Kate Anderson answers back.
That's a big-time shot, knocking that down. 30% from 3 coming into the game. Setting her feet, being ready to shoot.
San Francisco with the 3-point lead, shooting 6 for 7 this quarter. Kostic, offensive foul. She throws the elbow. into Andrews defending in the post.
Freshman in the right spot at the right time, but you see Rathman doing work a possession ago. And Kostic again, beautiful pass down low, keeping that head up. She's already got 6 assists, the post player for San Francisco.
Pilots won both matchups this season against San Francisco. The Dons just 2-16 in conference play as Slega gets loose on the right side for a layup with some help off the screen in that post area. And now it's a 1-point San Francisco lead. It was 6 just moments ago.
You can almost feel that urgency, that intensity pick up for Slega. She wants the ball in her hand. She's a senior, a leader. She wants to take over the game.
Alexander cut off in the lane. Abby Rathbun having her way with that Euro step. She missed the shot, but Kostic there to clean it up on another offensive rebound for San Francisco. Kostic now well into double figures. She has 14 points.
That's the 8th offensive board. As you see, boy, we are just back and forth. Spencer in a great location as she established that territory down low to go up strong.
Julie Spencer now with 18 points, and she'll have a free throw shot to try and tie this game up with 4:19 to play. What a way to open things up. Scores the bucket and a foul. She'll be at the free throw line as we come back with a chance to tie things here at 63. Julie Spencer with 18 points, tied for a team-high lead on the Portland side with her freshman point guard Haley Andrews. Mariana Clavina, the reserve point guard for the Dons, taking over for the injured Shannon Powell with a career-best 20 points.
And Powell playing just 3 minutes. She did start this game, but similar to last week, she just could not finish the game. Has been dealing with foot injuries the entire season. Portland also without their leading three-point specialist, Maddie Mulheim.
Kemp nearly had an offensive rebound as Spencer misses a big free throw. The Dons still in front by 1. We approach the 4-minute mark. Clavina, guarded by Gorsman, hands off to Rathbun, who has had a fantastic second half. Clavina now an entry pass to Kostic. Quickly to Lundqvist. Open 3, Nia Alexander, no good. And the battle for the offensive rebound will go in favor of San Francisco as a foul is called on Portland.
Rathbun all over the glass. She's been outstanding with 11 rebounds now and her 5th offensive board. And we mentioned that double-double, just her first double-double as a freshman.
Foul called on Gorsman, her 3rd personal. San Francisco out-rebounding Portland on the offensive glass in the team category 9-5, and that's largely in part to, as you pointed out, Abby Rathbun. Nia Alexander, left-handed floater, too strong. This time Portland collects the rebound. Spencer with an outlet to Andrews. The Pilots trailing by 1. Handed off back to Spencer. Now to Andrews, and she shuffled her feet as she began her move to the basket. Critical turnover for Portland right there, their 13th of the game.
Patience, so important. You feel like you have to rush at the end of the game. It's tight. You can kind of feel the nerves coming as you approach the end of the game. But offensively, teams that are more patient down the stretch and execute are typically the more successful teams.
Alexander fouled on the drive to the basket by Kate Anderson. Fourth team foul for the Pilots, 1 more, and that'll put the Dons in the 2-shot free throw bonus. Inbounded to Rathbun from Lundqvist. Alexander quickly to Clavina. With the 20 points, now over to Kostic. Kostic looking for that backdoor, not there, so she pulls up, and how about Kostic?
Got a beautiful shot, the lefty, and she keeps it high. It's very difficult to defend. As a post player, you already got the height, but keeping the ball high on her shot.
Lucia Kostic with 14 points. Julie Spencer spinning, and she gets a roll.
Clavina's got to be careful. She got caught on Spencer and tried to poke at that ball. Ref's letting it play out, but she's got those 4 fouls.
That'll be a foul on Kate Anderson. And the 5th team foul on Portland, sending Clavina to the free throw line for 2 shots. Kostic now with 14 points You leave her open, and they've done so 3 times here in the second half, and she's knocked down all 3 of those shots.
9 games in double figures. They have really needed that balance. I mean, Clavina's been outstanding, but if you allow Portland just to defend one player, they're easier to guard. So they have to have that balance. And right now, San Francisco with 3 players in double figures.
Clavina, perfect on the first free throw. She's got 21 points to lead all scorers.
Well, she's colliding with one of the toughest players, kind of the gritty player for Portland, and Kate Anderson, who's just going to get herself through that screen and that handoff.
Back to a 3-point advantage for San Francisco. Haley Andrews out to Slaga, open 3, left wing. You betcha! 67 all. Darian Slaga coming on strong here in the fourth quarter.
Defensively, Alexander got caught in no man's land. She turned to locate the ball, but lost sight of Darian Slaga, who relocated for an open 3.
Her second 3-point make, 2 for 10 from beyond the arc, 17 points. 67 all. Nia Alexander trying to cross over Kate Anderson. Anderson hits the deck, and Alexander can't score from 5 feet away, open inside the lane. Opportunity for Portland here, under 2 to play.
No rush right now. Under 2 minutes, but you have got to take your time, as we mentioned, and execute.
The winner advances in the bracket to the quarterfinals tomorrow. Kemp in the corner to Andrews. Her pass tipped and knocked down, stolen by Abby Rathbun. Rathbun on the move right at Andrews, and a foul is called. 2 free throws coming for Abby Rathbun. An attempt to give San Francisco the lead back after Slaga ties it with this 3.
Andrews with those 7 assists, seeing Slaga while she's wide open. How about Rathbun? She's had an outstanding game.
Rathbun makes the first free throw. Not a ton of contact on that move to the hoop, which has Cheryl Sorensen frustrated. And Haley Andrews asking where she committed the foul. But Rathbun pays both off, 69-67.
Got 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals. One of those talented freshmen that Molly Goodenbauer's brought into this program, and it's finally clicking. And what a more crucial time that you want these players to step up. And
this year, but just win and stay in.
We mentioned that bonus situation. 2 players of crucial note is Clavina with those 4 personal fouls, and Anderson for Portland also with 4.
Julie Spencer, that one's long. Offensive rebound back to Anderson. Gives to Andrews, to Slaga. She's filling it. Rushed that shot a bit, but another offensive rebound by Haley Andrews. Her pass, errant, tipped, and stolen. Nia Alexander with the basketball. The Dons with a 2-point lead. And now she will very patiently hand back to Clavina.
And that's what Coach wants. Slow it down, and Alexander pulling it back wisely and get it into the hands of your point guard to run the offense.
Under a minute to play. San Francisco with the 2-point lead. 9 seconds on the shot clock, 52 seconds on the game clock. Clavina with 5 and 4 on the shot clock. To Kostic. Throws it up with the left-handed, good! Now they're going to check and see if it came out of her hand in time, because it is in the final minute of play. They will make sure that the ball was released from her hand. So the officials making their way over to the scores table. They'll pull up the...
I asked him in Blaine, where's the connection here?
Portland to inbound, 43 seconds to play. They go to Slaga. She has a good run to the basket, and she leaves the layup short. And a foul is called. San Francisco free throws coming up, leading by 4. Not much time went off the clock, but the Dons in great position here, unexpectedly. Again, with the key injury to one of their gritty senior stars, Shannon Powell. She started, played 3 minutes, was clearly affected by her foot injury, opening the door for Mariana Clavina out of Latvia to come in and put up a career-high 22 points thus far. However, Moa Lundqvist misses the first free throw. It remains at a 4-point advantage for the Dons. Lundqvist misses both. And now the Pilots in a hurry, led by Andrews. Andrews, open 3, in and out. Lundqvist tracks down the rebound. Abby Rathbun will be fouled, and she's knocked down 2 critical free throws here late. So San Francisco breathing another sigh of relief for the moment with that 4-point lead, going back to the free throw line.
Yeah, Rathbun is the player you definitely want on the line, just shy of 80% on the season at the charity stripe.
No problem for Abby Rathbun. 13 points, 11 rebounds, only 1 turnover, 2 steals. And that one is short. So a 5-point lead. Timeout Portland. Well, their head coach, Cheryl Sorensen. And again, if this is a 3-point situation that Portland needs.
And that's what it has to be. And ultimately, you got to take the open look first. You know, you don't need a 3-point right away. If you can get to the basket off the rim, get something quick, take the layup.
Of note, Mariana Klavina does have 4 personal fouls, so she's got to be careful in case this game does go to overtime that she needs to stay on the floor. As Slaga throws up a shot, she's fouled, and she's asking for a foul call, saying she was hit on the wrist, but it's deflected out of bounds by San Francisco and remains with the Pilots. 23.3 to play. Portland has gone cold. They need something offensively here. Kate Anderson, long 3. That one rims off. Rebounded by San Francisco, and Rathbun with the ball will go back to the free throw line again with a 5-point lead. 18 seconds to play. It appears San Francisco, if they can knock some of these free throws down, is pacing to play at least one more game here in Las Vegas.
Well, you go back to that possession, and Portland just gets something at the basket. You saw how much they wanted to just go on the perimeter and try to get a 3-point shot, get that huge shot, but it still is a 2-possession game. If Rathbun gets this one to go and makes that 3-possession, this is a huge free throw right here.
14 points. Now 15. 7-point lead for San Francisco, which I believe is a game-high lead for the Dons. Kate Anderson. Not a good decision to throw that the length of the court. Again, still 18 seconds left. It's not, you would think, that much of a desperation situation, but an easy steal for the Dons, and Rathbun is back to the free throw line once again.
Well, San Francisco has been the team that has executed here in this 4th quarter when they needed to, and ultimately when the game's tight, that's what wins games, when your team is executing on both sides, the defensive and offensive possessions. And some key players stepping up. These younger players did not play like young players in this one.
Abby Rathbun, 16, now 17 points. The Dons lead by 9. They are on a 9-0 run. Remember when it was tied at 67? Julie Spencer opens. She'll score the layup. She's got 22 points to lead the Pilots, tied for a game-high lead, and they will call off the Dogs. San Francisco wins for the first time on Thursday all season. They were 0-9 previously, and they celebrate at midcourt. They also beat Portland for the first time. Do not lose all 3 to the Pilots, and they advance into the next round.
They come in losing 8 straight. And without their leader, Powell, who leads them in scoring, rebounding, I mean, you go through every category, and there's Shannon Powell right there. She leads them. But I am very impressed with some of these younger players stepping up, coming together when they needed to, and running the game plan, doing exactly what their coaches had set up.
The Pilots go down. The Dons with an upset in the seeding, and they will move on to take on the number 5 seed LMU tomorrow live on BYU TV. San Francisco, when trailing at halftime this season, 0-16 until today. It's March. Can't think of a better way to tip things off here at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas.